they're going to do their sound check. And they all come off, and they're all wearing the weird, steampunky, sort of shredded sweaters and gloves. Remember they had gloves on and like knit
and scarves, and
it's
all
like, what? It's 90 degrees and you're in a field,
So we do our show.
Standard show, feathers and pigs, and it's terrible for everybody involved.
Okay, so in order for this to make sense, you have to understand that Davey had made these feather cannons. Just the air would be thick with these things, and everybody loved it. But it made like the most horrendous mess that you could possibly imagine, and clubs all around the country to this day can tell you about how they had to shake feathers out of like the lighting fixtures for months or even years after that time of Montreal came through those assholes. So, needless to say, of course we shot off the feather cannons during our show, and then after the show is over, we're striking all of the gear, and needless to say, the stage is, of course, covered in feathers. 30 Seconds to Mars crew, who are trying to roll their risers into position, are not happy about this.
Well, if they had waited 5 minutes, we would have cleaned it off.
Right. We traveled with like big push brooms to like make sure that we could be cool and as conscientious as possible for people who spray feathers everywhere.
It's like that dance sequence from Mary Poppins.
So before we have a chance to even introduce ourselves or get out there and clean the thing up, they're just incensed because they're 30 Seconds to Mars. Bombfest is serious business. you don't want to be 1 second late playing Bombfest.
Right.
So
your 1,000 people.
So they've just decided that
crowd is like clamoring for.
They're fed up with amateur hour. Who are these yokels from Georgia? They're just mad. They're pissed.
Okay, so I'm standing on stage, and this guy comes up to me and holds a plastic like laminate in my face, and they've all been yelling at us at this point. And he's holding this thing, and it's the 30 Seconds to Mars like VIP all access touring laminate, and he says, "Do you know what this means?" To which, of course, I reply, "It means you're a douchebag."
So we were just like, yeah, screw you guys. You get feathered. That's where we were at this point. And then comes the cake incident. So
fast forward. We watched 30 Seconds to Mars show.
I think we were openly laughing
Which
at
was
them. Remember
amazing.
Remember we lined up chairs and we just got drunk. And we were all but heckling, to be fair.
He was like standing on his monitor and like posing with the mic stand, like Aerosmith style, and just like the douchiest behavior I've ever seen on a stage.
My favorite part was when he goes like, "All right, guys, we're out here, we're all just trying to be friends, and like it's all about peace. This next song is called This Is War." I was like, all right, I'm gonna go home now.
All right, so we were like, okay, enough of this. Let's go backstage and see what's going on. And we get backstage in our little cubicle. And it is trashed. It is trash. They had taken apart this poor gramophone cake. There was like chocolate handprints on the wall, and then a very ominous, the flimsiest like serrated steak knife I've ever seen.
The one that they provided conveniently for us to cut the birthday cake with.
Stabbed into the wall. So we all are like angry and upset and trying to figure it out, and then we realize ours was not the only dressing room to get trashed.
I had been talking up Lupe Fiasco earlier just because it's Lupe Fiasco, and that was kind of a cool thing.
And we had our whole New Dirty South thing going on.
Yeah, it was good. We were bonding, and I ran over there, and their dressing room had been destroyed as well, and they were super fucking pissed about it as well. And then we all look over, and Jared Leto's dressing room is completely untouched.
Pristine.
It looked like somebody just cleaned it. It was just really maddening.
And their band actually had been walking out at the time kind of giggling.
Yeah, they were walking out giggling, and we were like, oh, fuck, no. And then
fucking Jared Leto trashed our backstage and ruined our cake and stabbed a knife in the wall.
I actually thought that it must have been one of those other bands that played the younger high school bands. But I had been persuaded because Lupe Fiasco gave the greatest speech I'd ever heard, where he was just like, "I've got big guys on my crew," and I just looked over and he's got these two huge buff dudes, like their shirt sleeves cut off and they're kind of like flexing. And then he's like, "You got big guys on your crew?" And I look over and I see Nick Gould and Ian Mott, and he's just like, "Let's go kick their asses." And
we were like, "Yeah, yes, let's do it." And
Come
so
on,
we were all.
Fiasco.
There was not a
Vengeance will
moment.
be ours.
No, not a moment's hesitation. We suddenly had this policy, and it was like it went slow mo, steady cam, Reservoir Dogs walk, like out of this place. We're like, doom, 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 doom. Like, we were gonna go fuck up Jared Leto.
I'm walking like next to Lupe Fiasco, just being like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this."
I think I saw some people picking up lumber with nails in it. Anything they could find that they could just hit the bus with. And I just remember going berserker and just jumping on the bus and pounding on it. And I yelled a bunch of stuff. I yelled, "I want to destroy something beautiful."
I forgot.
I remember reaching up at the window and scratching at it and just being like, "Come out here, you space monkey!"
And they were wusses, and they did not come off the bus.
No, actually, the security for the festival came out to break us up.
The angry mob banging on Jared Leto's tour bus.
We got mad apologies from Big Fat, though. Big Fat and Little Big Fat wanted a peaceful bomb fest.
Did anybody find out if
Repeatedly.
the music got brought back?
I don't think it did.
I think that
I
was it.
think the buses rolled out and the music never again returned.
I hope he graduated with an A for that project.